Auburn fans, just shut up. You don't care about integrity. You don't care about any of that. You're just complaining to complain. I'm telling you, give it a month or two, these Auburn fans ain't even going to bring up the Hugh Freeze scandal at Ole Miss. Yeah, I'm just gonna cut straight to it. I know why you're here. You know why you're here. You guys have been blowing me up on Twitter and Instagram. We gotta talk about it. It's been officially announced that Auburn has found their new head coach in Hugh Freeze. I told myself I wasn't gonna talk about this. I told myself I wasn't gonna make a video, but you guys want it, and I'm a fan of the people, and I'm gonna get the people what they want. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on. I know exactly what you're sitting there saying. Yo, Matt, why wouldn't you make a video about this? Well, my friend, that is a fair question because it's big time news. However, I already made this video on Saturday. Yes, that's right. You heard me correctly. I already talked about how Hugh Freeze was going to be the coach on Saturday morning. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out. But according to all the sources I told you in the video, this was already a done deal. They just didn't want to announce it before the Iron Bowl out of respect for Cadillac Williams. On Saturday, we talked about Nebraska's new head coach, Matt Rhule, and also Hugh Freeze and what I thought about it. Although it wasn't technically quote-unquote official, my opinions still do not change on it. But, and I have a big but, we still got a lot to go over and talk about. Auburn fans, there's a lot of mixed feelings about it, rightfully so. We've got a lot to talk about and dive into. Some Auburn fans, they're happy about this. Others, they're on the fence. As always, we're on the road to 300K, so if you like college football content, consider subscribing. All right, Matt, blah, 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 shut the crap up. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. Oh man, as excited as I am for all the chaos that is currently going on in the college football realm and will continue to go on, I cannot wait for tomorrow night when them rankings come out. We all know what that top 4 is going to look like, but I am extremely curious to see what the committee does with Ohio State and Alabama. That's going to be something to pay attention to. Real quick though, before we get into the Hugh Freeze drama, I got to bring this up. And I haven't quite decided on it. Maybe I'll make an entirely separate video alone talking about this. But Nebraska, not only are they getting Matt Rhule, they're now about to get South Carolina's offensive coordinator. Maybe it's just me, but I think this is a huge pickup for the Cornhuskers. For those of you that have no idea who South Carolina's OC is, it's Marcus Satterfield. When I first heard the news, I gotta be honest, I was like, man, why would he leave South Carolina? They're on an all-time high to go to Nebraska where they're at an all-time low. But after reading some stuff, I was like, oh my gosh, how did I forget about this? Him and Matt Rhule, they've been close friends and they've worked together for the longest. They coached together at Temple, Baylor, and the Panthers. So it wasn't like they just coached together at one school. It's been 3 different places. I don't think he's the greatest offensive coordinator of all time, but I do like the guy. And just look at what he's done in the last 2 weeks against 2 top 10 teams. His offense with Rattler at quarterback, they put up 94 points against Tennessee and Clemson. Look, I get this. Tennessee defense, wishy-washy at best, but Clemson has a pretty good one. That's all I'm going to say about it. May talk more about that later in the week. I did want to share that with y'all, though, and let me know your thoughts on that. But finally, moving on to the main topic of the main encore, the main reason you clicked onto this video, we got to talk about the man, the myth, the legend himself, Hugh Freeze. I say we start out with this tweet because it's the best way to describe everything going on. I have to say, I don't understand the Auburn fan base backlash on Hugh Freeze. Last I checked, your basketball coach is Bruce Pearl. That tweet got over 4,000 likes, and I can understand why. Is he trying to be funny? I don't know. I think he's just being right. Being right. That doesn't make sense, Matt, but you get what I'm trying to say. Under that tweet, somebody said, well, you see, one of them invited a recruit to a cookout, and the other paid you know what through a university cell phone. Didn't think it was that hard to understand, but here we are. I mean, he's not wrong. Although Bruce Pearl, which is the Auburn men's basketball coach, has done some shady stuff, it's nowhere on the level of a Hugh Freeze. And honestly, I can't even say that Bruce Pearl has done shady stuff, because if he would have done that in 2022 with all this name, image, and likeness going on, it wouldn't have been a big deal. I'm not going to get into all of that. If you have no idea what's going on, go watch one of the documentaries or something. All you need to know is that Bruce Pearl, he's done his fair shady stuff, and so has Hugh Freeze. Now, I think it goes without being said, Hugh Freeze's quote-unquote shady stuff is much worse than Bruce Pearl's, at least in, well, not really my humble opinion, but everybody's opinion. I'm going to say this though, what have I told you in the past couple weeks about Urban Meyer? It doesn't matter that Urban Meyer may be this terrible person. He may not be a good role model. He may call these players some terrible names and cuss them out. He's a winner. Do I believe winning is everything in this life? No. I would like a head coach who has integrity and he cares about his players, just like a Nick Saban. I like a guy like a Nick Saban. He doesn't want to see these players succeed on the field. He wants to see them succeed off the field. I like a Jim Harbaugh. For those of you that don't know, Jim Harbaugh donated a lot of his salary during the COVID year just so people at Michigan could continue to have their jobs. jobs. I love a coach like Deion Sanders who's going to put these players' best interests first. However, though, being a good person, it doesn't really matter, and that's the sad truth. I'm just telling you guys how it is. I'm not saying I agree with it. I've said it all year long. A great example is Scott Frost. Did you notice after he got fired and he was losing all these games, all of this bad news and drama was coming out about him? Why do you think that happened? Because he was losing. Remember when they first got him? They thought he was the best thing since sliced bread. In any college sport, especially college football, winning solves everything. It's the same thing with the NFL. There was all this stuff going on in the past couple of years with Aaron Rodgers. He was a bad teammate. He doesn't work hard, but it got overlooked because he's a winner. And if you ever played sports at a competitive level, you know this. If there's tension in the locker room, doesn't matter. If there's stuff going on outside the games, doesn't matter. As long as you're winning, everybody's going to look past that. It only gets highlighted once you start losing. For example, if you win a game by 20 points, nobody's going to talk about the quarterback throwing 3 interceptions. But if you lose a game by 20 points, that's going to be the storyline. Oh, the quarterback, he cost us the game. You see what I'm saying? Not just for head coaches, but for quarterbacks, players, and everybody, winning throws away all these BS conversations. Anyways, getting back on topic with head coaches, same thing with Urban Meyer. Yeah, he was doing some shady stuff at Florida, doing shady stuff at Ohio State, but he won, so it got overlooked. I say all that to lead me into this. Hugh Freeze did some shady stuff at Ole Miss. They wound up firing him or letting him go. Whatever you want to call it. Goes to Liberty, and all he does is win. Even with his bad reputation and the bad stigma that is around him, it gets overlooked because he's a winner. You can't make this stuff up. I'm telling you. I don't know how many times I got to beat it into your head. As long as you win, it doesn't matter if you're a bad person or you do bad things. Now, let me get this straight because I understand some people may interpret this into a wrong way. I'm not saying Hugh Freeze is a bad person. I'm just saying he did a bad thing, whereas if he wasn't a winner, he wouldn't be getting a second opportunity. I'm not going to sit up here and try to act like I know the guy because I don't. I don't hang out with him. I never talked to him a day in my life. The only thing I can tell you is that one of my hometown friends that I grew up and played basketball and football with, he says he's a pretty great guy. That is all I know. That's all he said, and I'm going to take his word for it because I trust my friend. And I'm going to keep it real with y'all. From everything I've seen at Liberty since he's left Ole Miss, he does seem like a pretty good guy. I don't know that to be true, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because guess what? Me, you, every single person watching this video, we've messed up thousands of times and we're going to continue to mess up. As most of you know, I'm not a very sympathetic person. I don't feel bad for people because everybody's got a sad story. But as I continue to get older and mature, I'm also learning you got to forgive people because we're going to mess up too. I can't speak for you, but I know me myself. I've messed up in life and I'm going to continue to mess up. It's a part of being a human. In life, it's never about what happens to you. It's how you respond to it. For example, if Hugh Freeze continued to make bad decision after bad decision, no, I can't give him the benefit of the doubt. The bottom line is he seems like a changed man. So hey, I'm going to give him a chance. I think you should too. As far as it goes for all these Auburn fans that are upset and mad about this, I think it sounds stupid and you just need to shut up. And matter of fact, you're lucky. I think you are straight up lucky you got Hugh Freeze because if he didn't want the job, who were you going to hire? Butch Jones or Bill O'Brien? Auburn fans, engrave this in your noggin. You are lucky to get Hugh Freeze. This is one of the few head coaches in the history of the game that has beat Nick Saban not once, but twice. And yeah, I'm going to bring it up. I know it's cliche and corny. Everybody's going to bring it up, but you got to. I mean, don't you think that's a main reason they even wanted the guy? Because it's a proven fact he can beat Saban. There's thousands of comments I could read off to you, but check out this one. And by the way, this is from an Auburn fan. Let me get this straight. We spent the last month being coached by a man of integrity and character. He revived our entire fan base only to go out and hire Hugh Freeze? Auburn football, what are you doing? Disappointing to say the least. Yeah, I'm sure you really care about who's leading the team. Give me a break. Any and every fan complaining about this hire, you're just complaining to complain. I'm sure you know people like this. They get on social media or you talk to them in your everyday life. They complain about anything and everything. That's all they want to do. I'll tell you this much. I can't stand being around people that complain about anything. I'm not a complainer. I'm a problem solver. Let's talk about how we can fix it. Auburn fans, just shut up. You don't care about integrity. You don't care about any of that. You're just complaining to complain. I'm telling you, give it a month or two, these Auburn fans ain't even going to bring up the Hugh Freeze scandal at Ole Miss. Because you know what it comes down to? Not just for the athletic director of the school, but even the fans, it comes down to winning games. If Hugh Freeze leads Auburn to a 10-2 record or an 11-1 record next year, even 9-3, nobody's going to bring this up. Vice versa, if he goes 3-9 or 4-8, yeah, then the conversations will heat up. Why is that? Because like I've said from the start to this video to the end, it's about winning football games. The Auburn boosters, AD, whoever you want to put the blame on, does not care what Hugh Freeze does in his spare time. They just need him to go out there and win games because that's his job. It's the same thing with me and you. When you show up to work, do you think your employee cares that you're an alcoholic outside of work? No, they just want you to show up on time and do your job. Hugh Freeze isn't being paid to have quote-unquote integrity. He's paid to win games. And I also find it funny that Auburn fans are talking about integrity. Give me a break. Integrity, really? If you gotta ask me, Hugh Freeze is a perfect fit for Auburn. You know why? Because Auburn is just a shady program in general. You got two of the biggest shady head coaches in basketball and football. Now, granted, I don't think what Bruce Pro did was to the extent of Hugh Freeze, but you get what I'm saying. It's all about winning, and if you disagree, I'll give you one last example. Look at Ryan Day up in Ohio State. These fans want him fired, and he's a great guy. I haven't heard a bad thing said about Ryan Day as a person. Is he a great coach? Absolutely not. He's a good coach, but since he can't win the game, fans want him gone. I want you to think about this. Ryan Day is a good person, went 11-1, and they want him to be fired. But on the other hand, you got Ohio State fans that want Urban Meyer to come back. Why's that? Oh, that's right, because he wins. Fans do not care if you are a bad person. They just want a head coach that can win them games. And I'll tell you this much, I don't care who the head coach is after Nick Saban leaves. He can be doing drugs after the game. He can be an alcoholic. He can be this or that. But as long as he gets us to the national championship, I don't care. And the bottom line is, Alabama fans don't care either. Win games. Now, don't get me wrong. Would I be disappointed if the news came out that an Alabama head coach was doing drugs after the game? Yes. Of course I'd be disappointed because I want Alabama's head coach to have integrity. But if he leads us to a national championship and it comes out he's doing drugs, I think I can overlook it. On a serious note, next year is going to be very, and I mean very interesting. Let me know your thoughts down below. But,